Carter from the right elbow, spotting and staring down the Connecticut bench.
Part of the season out with injury. It's great to see her be able to get herself back. Reese frustrated, thought she should have gotten the
Carter from the free throw line.
soft touch.
Knocks it down. She's got the last 5 for Chicago into double figures.
Ever been so mad at work you wanted to slam someone to the ground? Well, Chennedy Carter just lived out that fantasy on national TV. But this isn't just about one player losing her cool. It's about a league struggling with consistency and a team in total meltdown. You have seen players get physical in the past then, however, this was not like that. There's one aggressive moment that has the entire WNBA on edge. Why? Because it's bringing to light an issue that has been smoldering for years. Let's analyze what transpired. Not only did Chennedy Carter foul Dijonai Carrington, but she also played with an aggressive approach. She gave her a firm shove to the floor. Hard. Now, this could have been a clear foul in another game, possibly even resulting in an expulsion. The fascinating part comes when the officials ruled it a standard foul. Perhaps you're asking yourself, what's the big deal? Players are frequently fouled. However, this was no ordinary foul. It had the potential to drastically alter how the WNBA manages player behavior. Why? Since Carter has a history of this kind, the league has been overlooking it. Carter's nonverbal cues following the foul were telling. She was aware that she could be in trouble. She appeared to be ready for the whistle or even being ejected. You could almost see the relief on her face though, as the call was downgraded to a simple foul. This is the point of complexity. Because of her aggressive playing style in the past, Carter has received leniency from the WNBA. However, right now, they're now faced with a decision. What message does it send to other players if they continue to ignore this?
I'd also mentioned that they haven't had any practice time and a little bit of practice.
Back on June 27th, first quarter for the Sky. They won it against the Aces, but a bit.
Carter from the right elbow, spotting and staring down the Connecticut bench.
How about the security of the players? The real shame of this is how uneven officiating, a larger issue in the WNBA, gets exposed. While some athletes get reprimanded for minor infractions, others get away with murder on the court. Fans, coaches, and athletes are outraged because it's establishing a double standard. And consider it. How annoying must it be to be a player who follows the rules to watch someone like Carter consistently step over the line and get away with it? It's risky in addition to being unjust. Yes, basketball is a physically demanding sport, but there's a limit to how competitive you can get. Do you recall the event with Caitlin Clark? As it happens, that was only the very beginning. There are several very important concerns regarding the WNBA's future because of Carter's past. Let's take a little look back. At first, the Carter-Clark event went unnoticed, no significant fines or protests. But then there was a backlash. Both players and fans began to wonder why such aggressive play was going unnoticed. The WNBA had to quickly contain the situation by subsequently changing the foul to a flagrant one. This is where things become tricky though. This was not an isolated incident. Carter has always been recognized for her aggressive playing style. It resembles a design that has been lying in wait, and the same queries arise after every incident. How much is too much? What is the point at which competitive play becomes unsafe? Consider it. What kind of message does it send if players like Carter are able to get away with using excessively forceful moves? These days, it's not just about one game or one individual. The integrity of the entire league is at stake. Why hasn't the WNBA cracked down on this before?
Here's the first quarter as a warm-up. We got to be ready to go. Carter without the ball. Good cut.
Bonner and AT hasn't been necessarily partaking in all of
Part of the season out with injury. It's great to see her be able to get herself back. Reese frustrated, thought she should have gotten
Maybe on your mind. Excellent query. In actuality, they're in a difficult situation. Basketball is a physical sport. On the one hand, fans adore the passion and ferocity. However, there is a boundary between being intense and being reckless, and that boundary appears to be somewhat hazy at the moment. This most recent episode involving Carrington, the WNBA is being forced to examine itself closely. They cannot continue to look the other way, not if they want to continue earning the admiration of both players and spectators. However, it goes beyond punishment. It's about establishing a benchmark. The WNBA wants to be what kind of league? One that puts fair play and player safety first, or one that in the name of excitement overlooks aggression? It was all there in Carter's body language following the Carrington incident. It seems as though she was concerned that she might have finally pushed things too far. She seemed to be anticipating the hammer to drop. However, when it didn't, further queries were brought up. The truth is that Carter's combative manner affects more than just her. It's starting to affect the entire league. Commentators are beginning to take note, stating that her actions speak negatively about the WNBA overall as well as about her personally. It's a clear and loud wake-up call. There is another crisis developing off the court while the NBA struggles with conduct on the court.
Carter from the free throw line.
Soft touch.
Knocks it down. She's got the last 5 for Chicago into double figures.
Trade on Marina Mabry from the three-point line for Chicago. And already an offensive rebound for Cardoso. And it gives that.
Yeah, you know, I think it was just really great to see, even though there was a lack of promotion by the...
More terrible than the confrontation between Carter and Carrington? The Chicago Sky's locker room has the solution, and it's not a nice one. You would be mistaken to believe that the drama ends after the final buzzer sounds. Behind closed doors, the real fireworks were just getting begun. Imagine, if you will, a press conference following the game that is meant to be all about the game, but is instead dominated by the mayhem coming from the locker room. You can tell something is wrong as soon as Camille Cardoso takes the microphone. Her body language betrays Eunice. As her A's dart all over the place, she seems to be attempting to concentrate on responding to inquiries, but her thoughts are clearly elsewhere. Is it reasonable to hold her accountable? It's a marvel she can even connect 2 words together, given the noises emanating from the locker room, arguing and slamming. Cardoso makes an effort to maintain a professional demeanor by stating things like, "We don't feel much pressure because this is what we love to do." Let's face it though, her body language and her words convey quite opposite messages. The strain, her face is covered with it. Cardoso literally needs to ask someone to seal the door because the noise coming from the locker area grows unbearable. Is that even possible to imagine? A professional athlete is attempting to discuss the game, but her own team's collapse is drowning her out. It's unprofessional, embarrassing, and a blatant indication that there is a severe problem with the Chicago Sky. The crucial point is this though, where is the leadership in all of this? Teresa Weatherspoon, the head coach, is where? You would think that in the midst of all this commotion, she would be the one to step up, take command, and organize her team. But no, her silence is unbearable. It's more than just a rough day at work. This is a sign of something far more serious and poisonous. The Chicago Sky are a team experiencing a crisis, not merely a team going through a difficult time. The worst aspect too, it's as if no one is driving. Consider it. How does a well-oiled team arrive at this stage? How does the atmosphere in the locker room get so bad that it affects the press conference as well? This goes beyond a single game or instance. The subject matter pertains to a culture that has been permitted to rot, unmonitored and unassisted. Not to mention, all of this is taking place in the context of Chennedy Carter's aggressive play on the court. The Sky appears to be collapsing in all directions. They have a player that is acting above what is appropriate on the floor. They have a team that struggles to maintain composure during news conferences, let alone on the floor.